Hello everyone, welcome to another Careers Division 2021 award video. And today we focus on the second ever Careers Division Mid-Career Award. With us today is the winner, and a big congrats goes out to you, Daniel Spurk.
Yes, hi to all, and thank you. Happy to participate in this interview.
Of course, there was a committee that decided on the winner. The chair of the committee is with us. She was actually a winner of last year's very first mid-career award. And she did this together with Maaike Andreessen and Jeffrey Greenhouse. Welcome and thank you for doing all this work, Shoshana Dobrow.
Hi, Joost. Hi, Daniel. Congratulations on this award.
First of all, I also want to thank Shasa and the committee, and of course also you, Jos, for your work on this award and the other awards. And for me, it was a great honor to get this award. And honestly, I feel a little bit proud and also happy that it worked out in that year, and that my work is getting recognized from the community. But I also felt a little bit surprised because I did not expect that. There are also other fantastic scholars who might deserve that award. So yeah, it was a little bit of a surprise, but overall, I'm really happy that I have won it. And yes, surely, this was not possible without the help or support from colleagues and my team. So I also want to thank them for their support during the last years.
Yeah, thanks, Jos. So we looked for a number of factors. We looked for someone who is really in the sweet spot of having accomplished both a high level of quality and quantity with their publications for this stage of their careers, as well as having significant impact in the field, and also having a lot of promise for future contributions in the field moving forward. And so Daniel was, out of our field of very strong candidates, Daniel was a really, really strong and amazing choice because he really did land in the sweet spot. I think we could agree that his career and his publications are on fire. If you count his publications, as of last count, it was 52 published papers, and I'm sure it's even more by the time of today. We can ask Daniel in a moment, with 10 additional papers under review, and that's just simply extraordinary. And I think additionally, given that this is the mid-career award from the Careers Division, we really wanted to focus on someone who does careers research, whose research topics are in the careers domain. And so Daniel's research trajectory is just squarely in that. It's amazing to see the number of interesting careers topics that Daniel focuses on. And another thing that really stood out about Daniel's record is that he uses really rigorous and varied methods. And that's something that I hope that other career scholars can also emulate from Daniel's record. He's using scale development, longitudinal methods, multi-level models, among others. And that just really stood out to us and is very impactful for his research.
First, thank you very much, Shasa, for all those kind words. It's really nice to hear that. And maybe it's not 54 now. Not sure. I have to count by myself. But maybe this is not the most important thing, right? So you asked about the purpose, and I think I try to study careers from a, first of all, psychology perspective and try to understand how people experience their careers, which attitudes they have, which behaviors they show. But at the same time, I also try to add some other perspectives, especially management perspectives. And so I try to bridge somehow also the field. So I do this kind of research from a OB perspective and a psychology perspective and a management perspective. And this is also a reason why it needs maybe different topics and also different methods. It's also a reason why I use those different methods, because they sometimes really also linked to some specific fields. And another issue is I think it's really important to study careers, because most of individuals work in their life, and I think everyone who works has a career. So understanding careers and how people behave in their careers is really a huge issue, and also important for the society as a whole, because as I mentioned, everyone who works has a career, but not everyone who works has, for example, a team or something. So I think this career topic is really important for everyone in the world of work, and most people work. So that's important. And the next important issue, I think, is I'm not a dogmatic scientist, so I'm not propagating or defending always very specific assumptions or very specific viewpoints. I try to be open, because I think it's also something what science is about, to be open and open for other viewpoints and try to combine different perspectives. And this is leading to different topics and different methods in the end.
Yeah, well, I think it builds on something I mentioned earlier, which was that Daniel really does focus on careers research and careers topics. And in particular, he has studied a number of different aspects of careers that are sort of becoming popular, that are emerging and are important. And I think that that has really stood out to us. So he's at the forefront of research on things like employability, career success, career sustainability. And I noticed in some of his papers under review, you're looking, Daniel, at ambition, which seems extremely interesting, and I'm eager to learn more about what you're doing in that area. And so the point is that this research is having an impact in our field. Again, by last count, and I'm sure this is higher now, Daniel's had over close to 4,000 citations of his work, which is, again, quite extraordinary for someone who's at the mid-career stage. And that's because his work is high quality, because it's relevant, because he has looked at a number of different topic areas within careers. And that's captured the interest of scholars as well as practitioners.
I'm working or planning some new projects and working on some old topics, but also some new topics. Maybe I mentioned one project. This is about, or I mentioned that people experience their careers, they think about their careers, and this is a topic I'm really thinking about in the last years, and I'm working also at the moment. And more specifically, this is about career insecurity. And we have worked a few years on that project, and we are also trying to publish a scale about career insecurity, and hopefully this will come out sometimes. But this is really about how people think and how people experience, and which concerns and worries they have about their entire future career, and about different content aspects of their future career. And I think it's very important to understand that in more detail, and especially from a psychological perspective, because it's really about the inner thoughts and experiences of people. This is one issue. Another issue is I'm very involved now in new types of work, and how those new types of work affect careers and career development. So one larger project I'm involved at the moment is about gig work or gig workers, and how they plan or experience their work, and especially how they plan or experience their careers. This is also a question, do such new types of workers or gig workers have a career, and which career do they have, and which decisions do they make in their careers, and so on. And this is also very challenging, because not all rules for doing research are applying to them. You have to adapt scales, you have to think about how to screen out participants and so on, because you just can't not ask about contract hours or something in the contract, but you have to be more flexible and think out how you can do research with this group of workers. And overall, I would say I'm interested to understand how both good and bad things at work and in careers coexist. Like, for example, ambition, is this good or bad, or both, and how do those aspects coexist?
Yeah, so those are great questions, Jos, and our committee did need to think through a number of factors, and I should note that I want to thank Jeff and Micah again. We did work, we worked well and hard together on this to try to do as good of a job as possible for the division. and the two of them are extraordinary. So I was grateful to be on a committee with them. So I think the things that I already mentioned are what I would want to highlight again, which is this balance between quality and quantity. And there's never one exact right balance with that. I guess the work always needs to be of high quality. I mean, that's a given. And sort of what that quantity needs to be may vary from year to year with this award. I mean, Daniel, you are extraordinary with your along with the quality, you have an extraordinary quantity of research that maybe we won't see very much of again in future award winners. So I don't think that everyone needs to try to aspire to that. But I think one thing that's a challenge in our field, and this is something for maybe all of us collectively to talk about, is that some of the best journal homes for careers research, like the true good fits for our papers, are not always the same journals that the broader field of OB would label as the highest quality journals. So I think that is a bit of a tricky thing. I think we can see that in many career scholars' CVs that we don't have 100 AMJ papers on our CVs, right? We just don't. And it's not necessarily because the quality is not high enough. It's just that sometimes the fit of our papers is not in certain broader management journals. Sometimes it is more in the careers, slightly more careers oriented journals, or certain journals that are more receptive to careers. So I think that's not a criticism of anything. It's just sort of an observation that it's tricky because it's a tricky balancing act, I think, for all of us. So ultimately, we want people for this award, we want people who are publishing good work in the best home that it can be in. And that's not necessarily always pure A journals, even though obviously we would all love to have those publications. But, I think that would be an unfair standard for this particular award, given the nature of our careers research. So in terms of what we are looking for in this award moving forward, I would hope is, like this year, we were really looking for someone who is a careers scholar, or at least where the dominant aspects of their research are about careers. And so Daniel certainly fits that to a T. And there are other scholars who may maybe dip their toes into careers research, and maybe that would make sense in some years for future award winners. But I think a more obvious winner is someone whose record looks like Daniel's, where as we just heard Daniel speaking about, examining so many different interesting aspects of careers. And so I think ultimately, what makes a great career scholar and a future award winner is someone who's asking interesting careers related research questions. And like I just said, Daniel demonstrated that just a moment ago. Daniel, the future projects or the current projects you're working on now sound really fascinating. And you had a number of them, which is not a surprise. And that's what we're looking for: careers research questions that you're addressing as rigorously as possible. And, hopefully that inspires some of our younger scholars to do this kind of work and hopefully be future recipients of this award.
I think you should believe in yourself and don't be afraid of potentially winning this award. And as you can see, if you win it, you also have fun maybe in an interview later on, maybe also the next years. Not sure about that. And I think maybe something that Shasa mentioned also before, but I also think it's very important. In the mid to long term, you just need to choose really meaningful and important topics. And if you're at the beginning of your career, you can decide on that even more flexible and later on, because maybe this is the first topic you choose, or a second topic you choose. And I think this topic should be meaningful and important for most people at work, or for organizations, for whomever, but it needs to be meaningful and important. And then it's also easier to publish it, right? Or it's getting more attention by other people, by whomever. And this is really important. And I started with career success as a topic in my career. And I think this is a topic that is most people matter about. And so I also chose a topic that I think was important for a lot of people. And I think you should be convinced about the topic, because when you're self-convinced about the topic and you yourself think it's meaningful, then it's much easier to invest days, weeks, and that also weekends to conduct your research and to give importance or time to that. But finally, also select a friendly and supportive team, friendly colleagues who you want to work with. And so really a lot of thanks to all who worked with me and who also had a part in that I won that award. Thank you very much.
Last year, we introduced this award because we felt we needed something different. We have so many lifetime achievement awards, we have early career awards, and those are super valuable. And we so rarely acknowledge the people who are in between, right? And it's a complex award to judge. We've heard from Shasa about how the committee also, even though Daniel was a clear winner, but also struggled with the exact criteria and how different candidates can have really different profiles that all excel. But I think hearing you talk about this award makes me very happy that we did introduce it, because clearly, Daniel, you are a deserving winner of this award. So again, congratulations to you. I hope that this award, even though you don't need it with 54 and counting and all the impact you're making, but I do hope this will skyrocket you even more in your research. I'm proud to work with you on some of the projects we're doing. Thank you also once again to the committee, Mike Andresen, Jeff Greenhouse, and of course you, Shasa, for putting in all the time and effort to make this tough decision and for helping the division choose our second mid-career winner.